Today we've been talking about goals and the great benefits that come to organizations by having clearly identified and communicated goals. Think of the time when you've been part of a team, when you've had a clearly identified goal. How has that motivated you? Organizations that have clearly identified goals can achieve great things. It motivates employees to get the creative juices flowing, to find ways to overcome problems. It motivates them. It lets them feel like they're part of something special and needed and important. Before we move on, I want to share with you a personal story about a goal that I achieved. Several years ago, I had the goal to climb Mount Rainier, a beautiful mountain located just outside of Seattle, Washington. This mountain's over 14,000 feet tall. I'd never climbed a mountain like this before, so I was incredibly grateful to have guides that had climbed this mountain over 100 times each. Some of them have gone on to summit Mount Everest. I was in hands of experts. The way that we approached climbing Mount Rainier here is we crisscrossed till we got up and we set our base camp at Camp Muir. We went to bed really early that night so we could get up at midnight. We had to get up so early because we needed to be on the trail by 1 a.m. The reason is we had to crisscross across the glaciers, summit the mountain, and come back down, crossing the glaciers again, all before the glaciers began to melt and move. When the glaciers get warm and begin to move, this is when it's dangerous to climb the mountain. Now, our guides taught us a very important lesson in climbing the mountain. And it's an exact principle that we can apply in our teams as we look to accomplish the goals that we've talked about today. And that's teamwork. For us to summit the mountain, each of us had a harness. That harness was attached to a rope, and about 10 feet in front of us was another team member with a harness attached to the rope. The purpose of this was if one of us tripped, if one of us stumbled, we would be able to grab our ice axe, slam it into the snow, and hold on tight to make sure the rest of this team did not fall. That then allowed the team member that had stumbled the chance to climb back to safety. Now, as I had passed through the glacier and it wasn't a dangerous part of the mountain, I wondered, why do I have to have this harness? Why do I have to deal with this rope? It was such a hassle. I had to make sure I didn't step on it or I didn't go too slow or too fast for the person in front of me. All I had on my forehead was a tiny headlamp. All I could see were a few feet in front of me. Have you ever felt that way with an assignment or a project at work? You're not clear on why you're doing this, or you're not clear on the impact it's having on the organization or your department? That's how I was feeling. I couldn't see the big picture. It wasn't until I got higher up on the mountain, till the sun came out, and I could see the big picture. I could see that if I tripped, if I stumbled, I had a very steep decline that I would fall down. I was grateful that I had experts on my team, on this rope line, who I knew that if I stumbled, they would grab their ice axe in and hold on tight so I could climb back to safety. It also hit me how important it was that I was alert, that I was attentive, because if one of them stumbled, they were depending on me. Now, we've been talking about departmental goals. I want you to pull out your paper and write down on the top of it what your departmental goal is. Now, just like a team that climbs a mountain, we rely on each other. For you to accomplish the goal that you've identified today, your whole team needs to be engaged and involved. Now, the reality is we're all going to have team members that are going to trip and stumble along the way. Maybe they have a bad day. Maybe there's a problem at home. Maybe there's a problem with the project that they're dealing with that blows up they're not aware of. Maybe they've never dealt with this project before and they're scared or unsure about how to move forward. Just like on a mountain, people are going to fall. Are we going to let them fall and pull the rest of the team down? Or are we going to jump to the rescue, just like we did on the mountain, with the same intensity to pull them up? Maybe there's a roadblock that we can remove. So I want you to take a moment and write on your piece of paper 2 to 3 things that you can do to be a great team member. Maybe it's something you can do to hold up that rope line. Maybe it's a roadblock that's in front of one of your team members' way. Maybe it's some mentoring or some training or just encouragement that they would need to be able to overcome the obstacle that's in their way. So take a moment and write those 2 to 3 things down. When we summited the mountain, I've got to tell you, I was ecstatic. I was so excited. We stood up there with our arms around each other with giant smiles on our face. As we slowly came down the mountain, a friend of mine said, "Wow, I had no idea I could accomplish such a big goal." And the reason we did that wasn't because I had great mountain climbing skills. It's because I had a great team. And it's just like your department, just like the teams that you're a part of. You're not going to be able to accomplish the goal by yourselves, but if you work together, if you identify those roadblocks, remove them, and help each other, you too can have that exact same excitement, the exact same joy of accomplishing a great task. And when you do that, you're able to achieve great things, but you build wonderful friendships, and you're able to have the skill necessary to move on and accomplish other goals.